right, everybody, let's get right to it. I'm going to give away 2 winners to start the day, start our session here. Actually, the first person in today was not, they didn't type in V3, but I'll give it to them. And that was LC. So LC, either a book or we'll give away a gold membership, harmonictrader.com. And then, of course, first person that did type in V3, that would be Breaks212. And we'll give you a volume 3 book. We'll send it to you. You have to connect with Ms. Stephanie, and that is through basic membership. Register on harmonictrader.com, and then go to the basic membership page. Log in there. Click log in. Oh, wait, it would help if you log in first. Log in and then go there. Connect with the Discord. If you have any questions, reach out to her here. She's here now. What's going on, chat? Swooping Hawk, Crypto Cartel, New York Leagues, Frashogar, LC, you were the first one, so make sure you connect. Mark, happy holidays to you, too. Everyone else. We've got Mitch Ray later today. Mitch Ray later today on an ugly day. It's a check back day. It's a big day because it is a check back day. And look what's going on. Here's Apple. Let's start it. I mean, massive type 2 back into the zone. There's actually, you're forming you are a type 2 bat here on Apple. But this is the first time with perfect confirmation. Looks ugly. You know, market's down huge. S&P's down 90, 80, 81. NASDAQ's down 400. How about that? And then the Dow is down 615. They're throwing this away. This is against the check back, so hey, it makes a lot of sense that you're deep. This is the deep retest, and Apple, probably the #1 stock that, you know, of all of them, it's been holding up, but now what? Because you have check back day today at basically 132, and you're in the zone. So you would need 2 bullish days, and these lows would have to hold. You have to be looking at the lows right here at about 130 on Apple, and that's everything for the entire market. If we come down, I've said this before, if we get this hop level on Apple on the daily is about 122. I know there's some other levels we've talked about, but it's pretty clear, you know, under 125, 122, then Apple does have larger issues. If you don't hold here, and today's first day, I mean, you triggered yesterday. We talked about some of these that were triggering on Tuesday and starting to check back, but that's your first day, and you're not even, you're waiting for the close of this day before you even assess it. But it's in a zone. You're hitting your XA level at 134.40. You're well below that, but confirmation still probably 2 bars away. And they're just throwing it down. They're just throwing it down. So how deep is that retest? Because go to Tesla, and I think, yeah, you're 126. This is, here we are. I mean, we're Tesla. We were just talking that was 170. What's down here? Hop level at 113. That doesn't seem crazy now. Where were we just a couple sessions ago? I think we have to take this as, you know, serious, something serious developing, much like the crypto stuff. That there's the Gartley on Tesla. It was also a type 2 bat pattern that by now has failed. There's the bat. That was the type 1 back-to-back patterns, and then slam it down. I really feel like this is a problem. I feel like that's a problem, folks. And I don't, there, if you've watched the intraday action on Tesla at all, and I have, just take a look at the 5 minutes. Every bearish 5 minute HSI is working while every bullish signal is failing. Just about. Something to take a look at right now. I mean, let's talk about a 5 minute. I mean, you're so oversold right now. You finally pulled up your first bullish HSI for the day, but that's at 125. The weekly levels, the hop level at 113, that's it. That would be the target. And we talked about this in the last several sessions of being just let's trigger hop levels. Let's target hop levels no matter what. No, it's, that's clearly going to happen, I would say, by the 1st of January, if not before. It really, there's a day away, 2 days away. Take a look at HSI. We're not even close. Again, this is Tesla, folks. Weekly level, you just have a couple of nasty weeks since 170, 180. Heck, that was 195 just 3 weeks ago. Now trading 125. And this means this is, for any hope of those larger patterns on your innovation stocks, Tesla capitulates, they all capitulate. Like, look at ARK. 3098 now. But we've talked about this, the hop level. It's a bat, sure. But it could go as low as that hop level at 15, 14. Structurally, it just all depends on where the confirmation is. Zero confirmation, no green arrow in this area. A red arrow, warning signal, that was at 47, now 31, 15. I just, 15, that's where we are. 15. Then you go to this situation of coin, 33.63. It was 40. Last ditch level at 40. It failed. What does this do? You're looking at a 1618, maybe a 127. If I don't even think a 1618 is going to work here. If you take that last extreme down move, you would expect a minimum 113, which is currently where you are, about 32. But 127 is about 22 bucks. Can you even get a 168? No, it goes negative. But it's just, it goes to $10. I think that goes to $10 even as a stock that's under $10. One or two more. Yeah, I want to keep it I want to have a merry holiday Christmas session, and so let's do that. Let's give away a gold membership. Next person that types in gold will give you a free gold membership, but I'm going to give away a few things. Let's have some fun. And again, we're going to get Mitch Ray in here in a few moments. I want to go through a few critical markets. Here's something I retweeted from almost 2 years ago. Remember this? Incredible, that chart, that Gartley. That was the AMC chart we posted on January 15th, 2 years ago. And that's now about to get retested. That's just some amazing things that have happened in the last 2 years since we really have kicked things off. Not only doing Twitter more so and YouTube channel, but then interacting, especially with Discord. Here we go. Lows of the day on S&P. Let's shoot right over there and stay on that chart. Who was that first one? Chiwan? L? Okay. Let me go back to 5-minute chart, folks. Down 100 with HSI, another 5-minute HSI. This was insane today. Check out how many HSI's failures. Nothing, 7 or 8 in a row failures every time. I think you could probably see by the third or fourth instance that how bad this whole trend is. I mean, continuous failure, failure. Why not another failure? I want to go to the SPY chart, actually. The SPY chart's probably been the most reliable pattern in the last 2 weeks of a shark. Here on the daily, there's our shark pattern. 379 is target one, and we just completed the HSI, the bullish trigger, and today we're checking back, re-hitting that zone. But this, as I said yesterday, this would have to hold. 378 can't be violated. This has to be a check back, or the whole thing just kind of gives way. You're pretty much in a serial breakdown after that retest, but that's the first HSI test signal we've had in 3 weeks. I would still assume that after the check back, give me stabilize today. I mean, today has to be a 1-day thing, seriously, and then maybe 1-2 days consolidating. Tomorrow, Monday, Tuesday, a couple of low volume days. But I don't think so, because too many things are breaking down. Too many of the bigger components are breaking down, and if Apple, Microsoft's 236, I'm concerned about Microsoft, where looking for this full return, we've been talking about this, back to 219 minimum to retest that ABCD. And there are other weekly patterns at play here. This 216, this bat pattern. These are big formations that have to get retested. Running right into the first week of January. The Tesla bubble. No, Tesla bubble will not pop until it's under 113. Then you're going to see stuff. If that busts if the Tesla thing, I mean, I hear you. It's a just a quick comment about Tesla. This is a problem. 126, lows of the day. So if people are dumping Tesla stock, that's a broader market thing. That's not even that's completely different. People are probably dumping it, not only tax loss selling, but if other people need to raise cash into the new year, they're going to jump ship. Even stuff like some of the more of those innovation stocks, Teladoc, I mean, we've been targeting this thing on a retest to about 18. It's there. It'll be there very soon. The weekly was 21, but the daily has a couple of patterns here. There you go. Yep. Yeah, these are the drawings from probably a session or two ago. But you're there now, Teladoc. That's hit the XA level today at 24. So where's confirmation? Not there yet. So here's something else that caught my eye. Target. Remember the shark pattern? 175 had some crazy price action. You're down at target 2. This is kind of an official, if this is your retest, your target 2, I mean, it can be argued. It's pretty erratic action, but finally hitting target 2 down here. The point is, I mean, you've seen some checkbacks in major stocks. It looks really ugly. I mean, it really looks like it's going to fail miserably down here. It's all about really tomorrow and into the next week that if this kind of gives way, you'll have a very ugly first week. And remember, first week of the year starts right at Monday. You know, that's something else. Ways to play it, just a couple of thoughts. Again, Tesla, 5-minute HSI. Hasn't been too many patterns, but take a look at it. Just look at the bearish points. Not everyone is checking back, but it's given several counter trend rallies to clip 3-5 points at a time. There's and stuff like this. Congregation of HSI signals around 138. It's pretty big. Look at it that way. And then the other one, again, Microsoft, if we're in full return phase, nice bat pattern. Jeez. There you go. I don't know. Yeah, there you go from yesterday. Basically wrapping up midday with the confirmation. That's the kind of thing we want to see. But I'd be even inclined to take a look at what happens later today with this. Come back and is that going to be it for today where then we go continue to new lows? Possible. That's possible. Real quick, take a look at Nike. It was a big up day. Looks great, right? Check this out. So, bat pattern getting generated right off the low, but we have an opposite HSI. Type 1, almost perfect. I mean, it's so close at 101.06 and the low is 101.68. Maybe it got a dyslexic, but we have an an HSI bullish reading where that should go from there. I mean, that's a high level HSI, but you're squeezed between the hop level and some kind of continuation. Here's what the indicator looks like. Thought this is really interesting because the fact that it's flashing this bat pattern and it's a type 2, maybe it's just a reactive thing and it'll come up and then trigger after a couple of days. Like if Nike sits up here and then rolls over in the next week, that would be a major continuation down lower. Might take a couple extra sessions because you're generating a bullish HSI. That's how I would read it. It's a counter thing. But certainly look at it next week. Here's something that continues. I mean, just continues to really follow to the downside of Bristol Myers. Trying to flash a bullish HSI today, but you're still a couple days away before that means anything. Stick with it on the downtrend. And by tomorrow, you're looking for a weekly close underneath 73 to get this going for the next couple of weeks. But that is type 2 confirmation up there around 78. We talked about that a week ago Sunday. Anyway, let's jump to the S&P, folks, and then we're going to bring Mitch in here. S&P's new lows here. We really could be in for it. This kind of expansion that we're seeing now, holy smokes. Down 91. VIX is up at 2450. That's actually pretty interesting. Let me go check and see if Mitch is See if he's ready. He could be, I don't know, tied up a little bit. S&P now off. Gee. About to break back to 3,800. And this then takes out the daily retest level. We talked about S&P 500 yesterday, why this would generate, you're generating a bullish HSI, but it would still have to check back and retest yesterday's low. If we close below the 2-day low, really even the 3-day low, that is 3803. That's where you're going right now. You're going to go back and retest that 3-day low, which is really just a 2-day low. Looks like that. And then maybe the full flush go into start the year, you know, with just you're in a lot of cases, a lot of these stocks are closing at the lows of the year. And I think with S&P, if you're rolling over this hard, the only thing I would way to explain it is come back and check back to 3,600 now. Do I don't know. I mean, Santa got in a wreck because this is just no Santa Claus rally. And the only target down there is like 3650. Just dumping it. Hold on 1 second. 1 second. All right. Hey, let's give away a Volume 3 book. First person to type in Volume 3, V3. We'll send out a book you contact on the Discord. Again, folks, get with what we're doing is we're working with Harmonic Pattern Collection. This is Harmonic Pattern Podcast that we do Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. That probably is going to change. I'll make that announcement next week. But some of the things that I want to do also in the new year will continue to be more of the focus on the short-term stuff. You know, 5-minute. Hey, where are we at a 5-minute basis and any opportunity down here? Stuff like that. You know, right now we're down 195 on S&P, NASDAQ futures down almost 400. Is there an opportunity? Sure. Trade it, but just a simple 5-minute basis. Even look at, here's PayPal. Let's go back to that really quick. Another one, checking back now. And this has been on a daily basis. Look at HSI. They've triggered a couple of times since the first test. Pretty interesting. But you've never given 2 bars until, look, there's the check back. All right, you just formed yesterday a bullish bar, but then another HSI. That kind of resets. You're checking back today. Either way, we've been looking at PayPal as low as the hop level, 62.58. You're 67 at the moment. This kind of, when you continue to get these HSI triggers, especially in the zone, it kind of resets the whole process. You're looking for that to still do the check back. 2 green candles. I think that's down at the hop. We've been saying that structurally. Look at a lot of these patterns. Don't 2 retest, but look for them to run on the hop, because this is the first reaction up to 89.55, and that was just last 3 weeks ago. That was 90 bucks, and you're targeting 62. So that's you know, PayPal. Let's take a look at the Qs right now. Qs have a daily HSI, and they've retested. Okay, they're back in this butterfly zone. 265, they're there. But what do we need now? Because that's checked back today. You're hitting the zone now, but you would need 2 bullish candles. You need to hold these lows first, and then 2 bullish candles. I could see this as low as that 256.86 and wash it out right at the end of the year. But if it's under, you go under these lows, like if this really gives way, forget it. You're under 255, 254, there's a larger breakdown at hand. At least you have some kind of signal here. It's just that today's check back day, you're retesting that trigger. It's pretty extreme. That's a good one to talk about. Yeah, sure. Hold on. Yeah, Nvidia. Oof. Oh, well, guess what? Just like we talked about, that broke down. Yikes. That breakdown and that extreme. Nvidia had a daily HSI, but when we look to check back, it's down 10%. From 160 to 165 to 149. And that kind of looks like this behavior here. But that's at a higher level. I don't. Problem with Nvidia is that the move clearly from October to November is over. Peaked out in that extra move early December, and now the whole range is a stake. I mean, I think we've traced this out before, is saying, hey, that's Nvidia, connect the dots, is a shark. And that shark can turn into, a 5.0. Minimum 5.0 is almost there, 143. Ugly. That's just, I've talked a little bit about this I did a market report end of the year thing for the members. And I'm not going to repeat everything, but you're at points where, simply stated, whatever your relative low points of last year are, they have to hold. There's just no room for letting this say, oh, okay, this can take out prior lows. Your best hope is that you get a secondary shoulder, at least for S&P on the weekly, that can hold. And so if you're a bullish case, what you really need to see is this be some kind of head and shoulders, as ugly as this currently is, and that holds. And that is about the only way this whole congestion area of the last 6 months does not fail. Because again, if it fails, and we'll see stuff kind of materialize, I've said this before, the COVID range is what dictates how this follows through or not. Generally, we'll see. I think it'll be first weekend of December. Sorry, of January, and there'll be plenty of time to capitalize on it because the lower targets, like we're seeing in Tesla, here you go. They are, yeah. I mean, 124. Tesla's probably going to hit it today. Tesla, here you go. Tesla 124.14. Goodbye. Something's up. I think something's up. Hop level 113, folks. Today, right? NASDAQ's 415 already down. So what are we going to do? Tesla down almost 10%. Ouch. 1 second. 1 second. I got to buzz Mitch. Hold on. Let me see if he's here. All right, I'll check with him in a bit. Really quick, let me show you NASDAQ index. The 123.70. Wait a minute. If Tesla's going to 113 and this is crashing today, why don't we look at it? What else is there? Netflix, probably. Because this is today, tomorrow, folks, you're looking at what can happen in the worst of tax loss selling, and it's light volume, and it just gets flushed. Amazing. Phew. Well, you could get the 115 puts for 86 cents right now, and the 110s are 39 cents, but those are expire today. That's I'm just looking at the option spread here. Yeah, no, Santa Claus is just, he's done. Santa Claus is absolutely. Look, how about, why not? You want to buy a lottery ticket? Yeah, there you go. Now the December, this is crazy, guys. Here, let's keep an eye on Tesla. Let's, because Tesla's going to crash down to this 113 level. Let's put up the 5-second chart. Yeah, I said 5-second. That's crazy, I know, but that's how insane this current action is. There you go. What about a 30-second? What's that look like? Wow. Last 5-minute is nothing. There's a total failure on that 5-minute. And it wouldn't even register until it comes all the way back down. Yikes. Yeah, I would say with this kind of action already down here, completely failing. I mean, because if it breaks 120, there's nothing. I mean, there is nothing already. I've been saying Tesla is a real problem here. Yikes. Hold on. Hold on 1 second. I'm looking at these Tesla. Hold on. Like 115s. Maybe look at the 115 area, because this thing is, if this is going to happen today, it's going to completely crash out later. It's going to do it today into tomorrow, especially with all of the expiration going on. That's the amazingly, that weekly level looks like it wants to get hit and taken out. Here's the weekly. Hold up. Hold up. Yeah, I would think that could get hit today or tomorrow. And so you'd want to target that under, the strike price, probably the 115s, although the premiums are sky high. Yeah, okay, those premiums just crashed where they were 40 cents, another 30 cents like the 110s or the 115s. But there you go. NASDAQ's making new lows for the day right now. S&P too. Look, folks, this is it. Buckle in. Buckle in. Yeah, let's see. Let's see if we can get that. Okay, just heard from Mitch. No worries. Take your time. Take your time. I might have to get a little more coffee. Buzz in 20. Anyway, let's see what's up, because this is not what you want to see for this stuff to end the year without it leading to just further downside. And we know what the deal is. The reason why this Gartley is getting picked off by the algorithm is because it's really detecting the ABCD level. I mean, this is a really strong structure. That A to B lag on Tesla, amazingly, 409, 410 down to 230, 385 back down. The ABCD point was 188, but it failed. And now shooting the gap where not only that those ABCD possibilities are gone, you fail the hop here, then it's, you have to kick up to the higher time frame, which in this case would be monthly. And that's just an 886. I mean, this is I'm going to repeat myself and say that the potential for all of these to be 886 cycles is likely. And that was really what I've been expressing some concern there. 886 all time is about $50, $45 on Tesla, folks. Your 125 right now seems like it's, a bargain, but let's see if we can get an HSI, maybe the next 5-minute HSI, like the last dozen of them. Let that come up and then continue until we get down to 113, which we know is a minimum level. It's been respecting him all along. And take a look at Amplified. That's headed lower. I mean, that's expanding where with Tesla, if with this kind of a move, no Santa Claus rally, you're going to have to bottom out. Where is the? There it is. You need to do something like this over the next week for Tesla. So they probably sell that into the end of the year relentlessly. And the hop level, it's getting there quicker than I thought. I think quicker than anyone thought. And now you're down 13 on the day. Couple of more. Who wants to have fun? What are opportunities? Okay, Caterpillar, I think, is something we've mentioned. Checking back and on the weekly HSI up against this larger zone. It's been one of the stronger stocks, but with all of this kind of stuff up here, you're a type 2. 237, I think, has been the number we've been talking about for a while. And that was weekly, and here's daily. I think there's a shark. Yeah. This might have been a monthly as well. Monthly HSI, what's that check back level? It was 246.69, not quite. But more on the weekly time frame. I mentioned Bristol Myers already. Oh, the other one. I mean, these are your safe stocks. Pepsi. Okay, ever since this thing is topped out at the shark, beautiful shark pattern. 183.88 and ideal confirmation. I mean, look, Pepsi's been one where there was the pattern completion, but bang, there's your arrow. So the opportunity starts to the right of that, and you had the check back. Hop level was 183.88. Did nice consolidation, and now you're rolling over. It's a target 1 to 171.98. Yep. So still has to do the whole check back scenario, or did the check back scenario, but um, just we do a close under today. I'm in a 3-bar reversal. It'll be another 3-bar reversal today in a tight zone under 180. A close under 180, then you should see that thing do a short burst. And this is a super strong stock, but you have this target one, and you have you're some back-to-back patterns where just trace it out. There's your terminal bar, the bullish side. There's the bearish side. So why not? Pepsi come back down even as low as like 167. Back-to-back pattern zones. You're there. I mean, in your best of stocks, you're flashing this stuff all over. Hey, what's going on, Manoj? Is that the right way to pronounce your name? How you doing today? What's up? Mitch Ray is in the house. I think he's. You got your coffee? You need a minute? I might need a minute. We'll go another hour. Let's give away really quick before we bring Mitch in another book, V3. First person to type in a V3. We love to give away the books every Thursday. Give away some gold memberships, which give you access to the gold membership, as well as 2 software subscriptions, TradingView and a Pro platform. So that's what that's all about. It's V3, not HD. Anyway, do we need coffee? 10 pence, you're the winner. Okay. I have to check my mixer, make sure I've got my audio on there. Desktop audio on, good. But let me mute it. Mitch, I'll call you in 1 minute. Bring Mitch Ray here in a second. And yeah, we'll go off the rest. I mean, I'm just thinking, why not crash today? Why not? Easily. Just get it out of the way. It's kind of your hope. You're kind of hoping that today's a big checkback day that is the exhaustion on all these bullish patterns. But not really. Again, the SPY. Here you go. There it is, SPY. That's it. We'll talk about this come Monday for sure, but you have to hold 379, and what's it doing? Closing at new lows. That also opens up the possibility to go as low as 355 on the SPY on that move. That links up with the 3600 possibility. All right, let me check out. 1 second. Bring Mitch in. 1 moment. I'll dial him in. There you go. Okay, hold on. Hey, Mitch, you there? Hey. I can. Let me give me a test in 3, 2, 1, go. All right, Mitch Ray,
Hey,
everybody.
hello.
All right,
The eyes of the nation are upon us. I take it.
there he is. I'm boosted his levels. Mitch Ray, Mitch Ray TA is in the house, everyone. Big shout out in the chat, please. My soon to be neighbor, Miami neighbor, I really hope that
That's right.
comes true. We're going to have a blast here. And, looking forward to that. I think it's opens up a lot of possibilities if Mitch comes down here. And no matter what the markets do, you know?
Yeah, because I mean, no offense to the Bulls, but like this was pretty clear. I mean, what was going on with, what did we just do like at the beginning of the week or like last week, right? We back tested, on the S&P 500. You went to the mother of all trend lines. You failed to break that trend line not once, but twice. And then you
Mm-hmm.
started rolling over with some price action. And I mean, maybe not everything was at its own supply lines, but I mean, the S&P 500, man, that's like kind of the heart of the market right there. And there were other things too, like ARC was making 5-year lows. ARC had broken critical supports last week, late last week, and just yesterday, like on my stream, saw that ARC had broken 2 days ago the COVID crash low, and then just yesterday on the daily candle, a formal bearish back test of that low. And today, what's happening? Getting immediate follow through. So we know the bearish breakdown is very real, and there's no support for a long way. And starts going on a tangent here because you've got individual stocks within Kathy Wood's fund that were doing those same things, like Zoom Video. There is no support. I don't know what it was doing for the past few days. Like it had already broken its supports and was just hanging out. So I guess it was just waiting for a collective market uh, downturn or something. But it's accelerating really hard now, right? And Apple too. Anyway,
Yeah, here's Zoom video, new lows for the year. That's the thing that is, and against a whole bunch of patterns that um, basically were flailing and failing, but absolutely flawed with zero reaction, or even, in Zoom's case, total collapse into the zone back in September, and then just relentlessly down. No confirmation, no continuation. This is a problem. I don't care if it's 65, and I don't care if Zoom was whatever it was, 300. I'm thinking more like,
you mean 600?
or yeah, I'm trying to get it on the chart here. Let me hit the auto
Yeah, for sure.
adjust, but oh
I'm
yeah,
still getting situated on my trading view.
580,
So
580 now 65. With all of these, this is .com stuff, and I want to
yes,
say, let's just this kind of a thing. They go to $10. They go to $10 and your Teslas go to 40, 50. If we're going to bust down, and where's Tesla? Yeah, there you go, 124. Oh, did we register that? Let me see if we did that 5 minute. Hold on, really quick on Tesla. Go with
I'm gonna ping
Tesla
my
in the 5 minute,
Discord.
because
Let people
Tesla
know.
Tesla is the one that's crashing. I mean, no one's really talking about the fact that Tesla's in fact crashing, much like Meta was. No, it's not there yet on a 5. But much like Meta was last month, Tesla is just, it's crashing now where there's nothing until this lower support at 113. And again, once you get down to stuff like that, go to the weekly here on Tesla. Then it's more psychological because no one's really looking at the pattern, quite frankly. I mean, as much as I'd love to think that everyone's looking at patterns, they're not. And so we know that this target hop level at 113 is a last ditch area. I think most people would be saying, geez, is Tesla going to go under 100? Because if it goes under 100, why not 50? And you get to that rationale this deep in the decline where, that's since August. I mean, it was 300. Hold on one second. How are we doing? You still hear me?
Yes, now I
All
can
right,
hear you.
all
I don't
right,
know what
good.
happened. I muted my mic and it muted like everything, and then it
Okay.
stopped. I had to hang up. Wow, it's so weird, man.
Yeah,
Technology is like awful. Let's get on Zoom, I guess. Just kidding.
yeah, this has been, I don't know, I've been having some hangups lately. Super slow. Anyway, so this is the larger possibility of when it fails. And I come back, Microsoft here, 235. Uh, really nothing. Oh, you even have 5 minutes. Maybe that 5 minutes better. Yeah, I talked about that when we started. That 5 minutes breaking down like nobody's business. Um,
Yeah, are we at session lows?
just about to continue, and I think today's today.
Love it,
Today,
man. Love
today,
it.
tomorrow, Monday. If Klaus Schwab has his way,
It's a
then
bugs.
yeah, then we flush it. Flush it right away. Like Microsoft to
Well,
drop.
good, man. We need it, man. We need this thing to happen because I'd rather have direction than nothing. Like it's just, I don't know, man. Yeah, look
You,
at dude. You check Amazon today?
no, I didn't see that.
It's about to break its COVID crash low. Like it'll probably happen today. So close. And that means, it'll be the lowest price since March of
Y-
2019.
Yeah,
Cool.
that
And
failed some stuff last week that we were looking at. Never even got the confirmation we were looking for. Um, check. I mean, we had this. We had this pattern, pretty ugly, but a lot of these type of stocks formed a bearish, just a counter HSI signal where the price action coming off the pattern. The way I look at that, it's just that's it. That's all that the pattern could muster, and then it rolls over. It had nothing since uh, zero, and now look at where. If I'm looking for this to be oversold, RSI is just getting there now, and with these kind of failures, you go up to the weekly time frame, which doesn't have anything, and here's Amazon again. Where could Amazon go? I mean, it's that
easily $67.
yeah.
Or, that's just like the swing low from December 2018, the VIX crash or whatever, or the VIX crush. Yeah, and the swing low from March 2018. And then below that, though, that's when things started getting really sketchy, right? Because you just got no manufactured support really, just because it went on a crazy tear from 2015 all the way up to September 2018.
I think $80.
Kind of like, yeah, $80. Yeah, I mean, well, we're at 82 right now, right? We're breaking the support, I
83.
think.
Yeah, you could go as low as having like I'm tracing out. It's not the nicest, but targets down here.
Are you
Oh,
talking about 83 on Amazon or
I'm talking Amazon. There's a shark with a 10 that's around 83. The 113 shark is about 70, and that's
so you? Okay, 70. Gotcha.
yeah. I mean, there's just some minimum stuff at 80, where it's almost at now. You're $2.50 away. This target where we are now, you have no confirmation. Just all looking like it wants to dump it now.
Yeah, man, it's like hitting session lows right now as we speak. Um, Apple's not quite as bad. It is now beginning to. It's hitting session lows. I mean, I'm sure you probably looked at some of these, and I apologize for that. I've just been,
Oh no,
uh, you
I
know,
think we gotta. I think it's all fair game because these are on the cusp of doing nasty moves. That reversal last week was so vicious and just so diabolical.
amazing though. So perfect though.
Yeah.
Like chart art, man.
We we're it's real clear. I mean, a lot of the patterns that we've been looking at off the software, um, a lot of them have done the target one reaction from November, October, November, and then they ran right into target one and got rejected and went straight into the type 2 return. Microsoft, that was around 256, 257. With your just this is a simple ABCD, doesn't come back in until 219.74, maybe 210. And with this kind of breakdown, I mean, you're Microsoft is down in a dramatic fashion, 10% in what's that, 8 sessions with another 10% to drop to get to minimum structural levels. So, I think it's, here you go, low of the day, low of the day here.
Bear drums. Bear drums.
Yep.
Yeah, crypto's not looking great either. Well, I mean, screw crypto right now because stocks are where the party's at. Speaking of party, Party City, I think is now it's at its lowest price. I mean, these are old. Remember, Party City is like 2000. I don't know. It went back uh, far, but I don't know if it was public until later. But you're going for all-time lows. I mean, it filled a gap that went back to 2020, and now it's like about to hit it. And then you have, remember Rite Aid? Remember that one time there was like a harmonic? Now it's just like
No,
collapsing.
that was, yeah, and that's a reverse split, 45 ways to Sunday. Yeah,
Good
I
God.
mean, these are all going bankrupt. I mean, there's a bat pattern on a weekly with the hop. Here you go. Again, another thing with all these patterns, so devastated that if there's a pattern, just trigger the hop, target the hop. I mean, there's a pattern in red, a 3-year bat pattern, but price action alone says, down here at 117. But at that point, you're penny fishing, and why you're doing that? Okay. S&P down
These things are
105,
crashing.
lows of the session, crashing for now. Let me bring up the futures chart. Looks like this.
Oh man, Nvidia was so perfect, dude. Oh my God. I'm sorry. I'm just like getting like situated by looking at some of these losers today, and you can't make Nvidia any more perfect. It hit that 886 bear sharp completion. It upthrusted through the supply line of the downtrend, and it's just predictable pattern after predictable pattern. It did it in August with a type 2 return and crashed, and now it's crashing again. But again, of course, the usual suspect, 886. I love it, man. When 886 face tattoo. My God.
Yeah, anybody have an 886 tattoo?
Yeah, I don't know if they have it yet, but they should. Someone's going to eventually get it. Maybe next hype cycle, right? I'm going to send you what I've got on this. It's just ridiculous. Ridiculously amazing, of course. But I mean, of course, tech is just getting completely wrecked. I mean, AMD is no difference either. Yeah, they're going to make fresh lows, like lows of the entire
There you go. We're into
downtrend.
3,800 kids. There's nothing here on S&P till 36. You just psh, bye, bye, bye. I mean,
Love it, man.
you got to go back to these daily levels that were. Look, we had patterns. Let me get those patterns back on there. We had the just beautiful a bat pattern that was retested in probably the most insane way I've seen in a long time. And let me bring it up. There you go.
Lows of day. Yeah, Apple's also at its lows. It's only down like 3.5%, but Apple's going to like 123, 125. And that's
Yeah.
what's going to make but the acceleration, I mean, God, dude. So people were like talking about tech being like, tech pumping would be like the pain train. And I'm like, okay, dude, you're overthinking things here. You're right. I mean, we look at a chart. So that's based on like literally nothing. Just, well, remember this is like a stupid category of people. They're in, this is their thinking process. I'm going to invert what I think everyone else is thinking arrogantly. So I am just going to say Apple's been showing distribution for an entire year, and now we're showing acceleration with that distribution, failing to break 200 moving averages, rejecting them. Old resistance is resistance again. You're rolling over, breaking supports, but even still, you're seeing all that over the course of a year, and you're still going to be bullish just because you think that other people are bearish on it. I'm so tired of seeing that crap. Like if I pull up Twitter, I want to vomit. I just close my computer. because that's just becoming so prevalent now. It's just baseless analysis.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I've been saying that, hey, I understand why people might try to be contrarian, but you need evidence to have to jump on that argument at the right price. And it's, if that's Bitcoin or, here we go, tech, and I'm going to be the biggest tech wreck since 2000. And that is the mold for the whole deal. If you haven't seen the similarities, especially as we crawl or beg into the end of the year, you got to go back to 2000. So the COVID crash was Y2K, and Y2K ended
Yep.
up where your 3-year bear market, not a 1-year bear market. Here's composite. I expect us to be retesting the composite lows, which is 10,100, if not crack 10,000 before the end of the year, and close under 10,000 for the NASDAQ composite. That would get people's attention, and we know that the only thing here on the composite is the all-time 886 at 7,700. That's the COVID retest. We're about to look at this vicious monthly, another bearish engulfing about to take shape, that by definition you need to close under last month's low, which is 10,262, your 10,337.
Okay, look at that. Like no support. There's nothing, dude. Just
And then you
thin air.
Yeah, and do the BAM. That action magnet move down to 7,700. Yeah. And that's where you go back to historical precedent of this same situation. It's a very similar 2-year up phenomenon, 2-year down phenomenon, year sideways for a year. And you're essentially, this is the 50% point on that NASDAQ move, where you're going to get a big monthly engulfing that looks like that. That's probably what's coming, if not now, January, that washes out these lows. You are right here in today's time. And that was 3,100, basically 3,000, on your way back to minimum 886, but even that didn't hold it. It was a full 1-0,
Yeah, man.
1350.
So nasty.
So
if you look at individual assets, I mean, it's very like clear what's coming. I mean, it's just almost like looking at what the altcoins have done. They've all broken their formal supports. There's no support for a very long way. Looking at total market cap, and then understanding when you look at the individual cryptos that comprise that aggregate, that it will be easy for those things to be achieved. So I think you can do the same thing with stocks. You're looking at the composite with the NASDAQ, and I mean, there are just so many tech stocks where there's just no support builds. And I'm looking at like Micron right now, and Micron broke $50, and there's nothing here till like $30, $33, way lower. I mean, you just broken. I mean, that's the levy breaking. I mean,
whoa, check out
easy
this
25
monthly alternate bat on Micron. That was a type 2 of, amazingly, that's incredible. Okay, so Mitch was saying
It was
Micron,
beautiful. I remember we were looking at it.
And it's a hop retest 88.39 of the 2000 peak, and then you did form a bat pattern up there, all of that at about 100. But that's big stuff, and I would say if you're going to follow the harmonic pattern framework, Mitch is saying 40. I'd say 38.59 is, that makes sense.
Yeah, that's the 2014 peak, $36. And you're about to test the 1995 peak. That's about to be tested. I mean, you'll run straight to that. But man, if you're looking at the weekly, how awful, like where you made a high in August and then a lower high in November, and you made like the lower high. It's rejecting the 200 week moving average formally, and you go from classic bullish divergence into hidden bearish divergence, and that's beginning to play out now. And yeah, you're about to you're probably going to close the week with your lowest level since September of 2020. So yeah, this is really bad on some of these. I'm just trying to look through them. Yeah, it's awful. PayPal broke supports, and there's nothing on PayPal till $42.
Yeah, I think
My
PayPal.
God, man,
These
it's
are
disgusting.
there's something going on with those other ones. Those are the, as we were saying earlier, we started looking at a bunch of those innovation things. There there's a window here that's opened up, that it's a flush window under the levels that, like a magnet, are taking it down to the hops, whatever, depending on the pattern. This one for ARK is $15, so that cuts it in half from your current price, closing at the lows of the day, the year, the week, the month, and with nothing to stop it. So the other thing we're looking at, okay, even amplified RSI and other RSI indicators are deeply oversold, but they just keep staying in there, and they're not turning around. In fact, you're getting the flush down into here, and that's not, we've been saying hop level on ARK is $30, and here you are, and it's ugly fashion. So
It's okay. I like looking at SARK.
yeah, so SARK, what's that? That's, last time I saw that was like
Like multi-month
65,
highs.
69. There you go. All right, interesting. Good. You're at a type 2 of a shark, but you'd need 2 bearish days. Like you would need, you wouldn't even jump into that as a short yet until I saw 2 bearish candles, and you look how strong it is into the zone. Today would be a check back day, and your hop level is 68.50. Okay, that's a nice example of a type 2 with confirmation, but it's not bearish until you get even 1 bearish candle, but preferably 2. And your maximum level is 68.50. You're barreling through 69.40. Whereas HSI is, keep an eye on it. I mean, your RSI indicator is expanding in that zone. So again, your best hope, if you were bullish on ARK and looking for this to end on SARK, would be some kind of reversal by tomorrow. But that's not what's happening. We're down. Where are we down now? We're down 430 on NASDAQ futures. We're down 108 on S&P, and the Dow's down 730.
Yeah, and they're not at supports.
No.
So there's like definite potential more downside, right?
Yeah, there's the thing is, they're setting up in a lot of ways the whole flush move. Here's SARK on the weekly. That looks a lot better. SARK on the weekly almost looks like this could become just a big ABCD, something like,
Yeah.
and then go to all-time new highs, 1618 from here.
It's like a strong wave structure. Like think about like May of 2022, that wick being X, and you just look at what the potential outcome could end up being. Like where you got an extension pattern, like a crab, like 60, like B point would be October 10th, and then maybe C would be November 14th, and then now we're on the C to D wave.
Yeah.
And 1618, mind boggling, right? 104. I mean, just it's
like
not getting
this.
ahead of myself, but
yeah, I mean, well, for sure. What are we?
X being X was May 9th, right?
Yeah, that's a weekly SARK chart, and the interesting thing about this B point, you see that was a real extreme 1 bar, 2 bar configuration. That's really indicative of just kind of a brief reactive throwdown that you have two possibilities here. It's a Gartley with an ABCD at, go to the 786, but the ABCD configuration doesn't work out at the 786. ABCD is going to go higher, more like the 886. And so what you would expect to see is this thing blast through. I mean, if you're going to take a crab character, this breakout that's happening right now, because on the weekly you just took out your B point. You're at
that's the all-time highs on a weekly close tomorrow.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's
Nice.
insane.
Nice spot. That is true. That is where your continuation could really go, not just 886 and be conservative. That's 78, but more like 1618. That takes you like 104, 106, with a 1902 would be even crazy 110.
And I think that the crab pattern just makes more sense if you're thinking critically about the underlying asset that it tracks or inverses, because we just looked at it. We know there is absolutely nothing on ARK until $22. And ARK is at session lows pretty much right now. But yeah, that means that ARK, from where it is right now, it's down 6.18% right now, coincidentally, talking about Fibonacci. Another 30%, another 28% downside. So if it just respects the TA, if it just goes to its next inflection point where there might be a consensus area, that's like the next consensus area where people might be together buying the asset, easily you would think that SARK could probably be a crab, or at least go up to a 1272 before reacting. It may not get to the 1618. It may take a long time, but you're just thinking that wave when ARK goes to its next support, SARK would just go to those extension levels.
Yeah, and with that pattern developed, I've said this before, that reminds me of Solana on its way to the hop level from 30 to 15 or 12. So $5. I don't even want to get into those.
Have you looked at altcoins much today on stream?
I just put the pop up Solana. Here it is. Yeah, there you go. New lows for the year. A shark, but 113 is at -9. It's not going to work. I mean, that's the bad pattern. And just ever since, this is Solana, it's similar chart. Ever since.
So what happens? You try to harmonic scams, man. I mean,
yeah. I mean,
it's legit. It was a scam in ways, a lot of ways.
This was. It still was a harmonic dud at the 886. So you hit the 886, and you go sideways for
mostly
15, 20 weeks, and then dump.
Man, dude, there's nothing here on Sol. Bearish rectangle really right now.
Yeah, Softy's dumping. By the way, really quick, let me jump back over there.
SOFI?
No, Microsoft.
Oh, Microsoft. Yeah, I was literally just looking at Microsoft. It's a beautiful channel. Oh my God, it's wonderful. I mean, it makes all the sense in the world. It tested that supply line and failed.
Oh, hold on 1 second. Hold on, bear with me.
Financials looked terrible. Did they roll over too?
They haven't yet. There's Microsoft low of the day, and this HSI that generated is a real bugger. You're not, again, this whole thing, even on 4-hour chart, the 4-hour chart for Microsoft in a full type 2, the deep crab, that's a 4-hour, that clearly we're in the return phase. Again, 219, 216, 220 in the short term. Remarkable. I mean, that's really remarkable stuff. What's happening? It's again, I think they held it out as long as they possibly could, and then now it's just kind of, this is capitulation because you have tax loss influence there. I really feel like that. Also, nobody's going to buy. No one's going to put new money to work at the end of the year with what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think. What do you think about earnings next year? I mean, all this stuff that's been going on. Don't you think we're going to have like an earnings recession, depression that's going to further accelerate downside?
Well, here's the Nike chart. Oh, let me pull in the other platform there really quick. There's 4-hour charts, much the same as the rest. 117 is a big bat pattern here on Trading View.
Can't
Similar,
believe it's up today. Crazy.
where with today, we have a bearish on Nike. Okay, we have a bearish HSI that literally on the earnings is checking back against that resistance. That's just simple, straight up. That's just like harmonically overbought as it
August high, yeah.
retest there. Yeah. So despite that, your daily looks like this, where you do have a bearish pattern up there. Maybe it screws around 117, but this is saying to me, look for this thing not to be able to get above those recent highs up here at 120. It's that could be about it, where then you just keep going back down. That's one of the strong. That was the strongest one yesterday.
Yeah, I don't think it was. I mean, there was decent volume, I guess, but I don't think it was like breakaway gap volume. I'm not sure. I really, it's just weird. I mean, I'm not looking for things to like that are doing stuff like this. I was just, okay, if it had an earnings report and it was crazy, but like they had like a lot of inventory. I know they had a top and bottom beat on their earnings, but like for me, I'm looking more at like, the play is like find something that's tech that's made a formal 886, kind of like Nike. But you remember the sector, I think people are going to buy tennis shoes probably, all over the world and clothing and stuff. All right, we're talking about tech though. The mass layoffs. You want to be in the sectors, right? I mean, it's like in a bull market, you want to be where the outperformance is for your positions. Just like so, I think like Nike. Yeah, I mean, it was awesome at the beginning of the downtrend. I mean, I was short on Nike in February because it was breaking that December 2020 peak, March 2021 peak, and it collapsed and it kept going and didn't really um, finally made its way to the next supports like from January 2020. But at this point, man, I don't know. I mean, first off, you're not supposed to be in a position on something that's going into earnings anyway. I mean, that's a no-no. That's a rule. So you should have been like either way, not screwing with this because you're just gambling at that point. But the good news is like we got through earnings season and you've had time to be able to take your positions on some assets, but you always want to be with the outperformers or I guess the underperformers in a bear market. So tech. And I think leisure too. Like I'm short on Caesars, and that thing is imploding today.
Oh,
And it's
that was one that was a high flyer. There you go, Caesars Entertainment.
beautiful, man.
There's an alternate bat right off the low. What was this trading at? That's amazing. I didn't know it was. All right,
What
here's
is it?
another. Yeah, I didn't know that was $100 stock, but here's another one. We have an alternate bat, or excuse me, uh, kind of an intermediate bat because it's not pulling off the low end, although it should. And even despite the fact you have a bearish HSI signal, has never been able to clear that 50 mark. You're 41, and I wouldn't again go to the hop at 16. Why not? There's just nothing there that would entice you until you get an oversold trigger. And yeah, look at your HSI is RSI, all of those relative strength indicators are rolling over and have a ways to go. It just doesn't, it
But
seems
it's
tough.
like the attempted rally. For me, the trade was strategic in the sense of you go back to October of 2018, that peak, and you plot the horizontal line.
Mm-hmm.
And you also have like some more peaks, like $51 from 2019, when you, and at the same time, you had the 200-day moving average. And then you had that stupid gap up on the 13th because of the jobs report. Like it's all a joke, right? I mean, Okay, and it like reversed that next day. That was it because it just had confirmed it was unable to break a local high from June 9th, but also at the same time had fallen back below the 2019, 2018 peaks. That's it. I mean, it's a well-established downtrend. So the trend is your friend. You had a confirmation high. There was bearish divergence on the RSI. You had a lot of variables in a trend that, so you're going short, you're buying puts in a downtrend. That's what you're supposed to do, right? I mean, you're going with the tide. And I mean, I'll cover or I'll probably close some of these at $32 again. But the issue is like what it's doing is, okay, Apple just hit session lows.
Yeah, things are
This went
hitting,
off.
they're cracking right now as well.
Yeah. And so I think like you're going to accelerate, you're going to test $32 again, and you're not going to hold it on Caesars, and you're going to eventually going to go to 15, yeah, $16, man. You're hop, but that's like the next support. I mean, that's a peak back from 2016, and that's getting near like a freaking 886 of the March low, right? I mean, your hop by Fibonacci from the COVID crash low to the all-time high on Caesars. The 886 is 1935, which is right around there. I mean, 16, $19. That's definitely where I probably maybe be exiting. But that'd be a good payday. Today is like Christmas Day in portfolio. Just been sitting, waiting, and just nothing's been happening. And finally, it's just like, boom. The VIX is what over $24 now. Have you looked at the VIX today on stream?
Not
It's
yet.
insane.
Not yet. I'll go there in a
I
second.
love it, man. VIX is the kryptonite of everything. Look at, oh my God, man. I'm gonna show you my chart real quick. You're talking about spring back test. This is like coffee and out the yin yang here. I'm gonna put it in there, just with the lines already drawn. Look how beautiful that is in our DM.
Hold on, let me jump over there.
It's ridiculous. What an engulfing, man.
Oh yeah, there's the there you go. Nice. Here's the chart. That's your VIX for today. A 24 with just your standard 6-bar breakout, but yeah, this is, you scratch back to VIX here. It was kind of a delayed thing, but down around 19 is the big Gartley pattern. Let me find it. Come on. Now 24. Oh, look at that. That's just today. But here you go. Gartley, couple of Shark. All of that was around 21. And then what was the other one? There was something, I think it was a weekly HSI that was down around, yeah, around 1980. So this is another one that's just been stuck between those ranges. This is probably really the first meaningful day to get volatility off of that 20 handle and then start the march back up to 35.
35, man. Oh, such a long way to go. Can you imagine where the market's at if we see 35 again? We don't have to see 40 because whatever. I guess they figured out how to suppress that with, options or something. I don't know. Who knows what they're doing behind the scenes?
You make a
They've
run.
done.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I'm just saying, man. How is it this whole bear market, this whole year, we have not one time seen 40 on the VIX of 2022? Like, how is that even real? I mean, does that happen? Like, do you remember the VIX and
The problem
the
with
tech
that,
bubble?
yeah, the problem with that is that when it finally catches up and generates those levels, again, I think that's kind of reminiscent of 2003, where you had that muted VIX and it just didn't really generate the signals until much later on. Let me go to the monthly there. And so that's really reminiscent of something that just drags out and doesn't give you what you're looking for, the bottom. And again, here is kind of the VIX on, or maybe it was financial crisis. There's 2001. Yeah, there's 2000. Yeah, because you didn't really get a spike in the VIX where it was falling. There's 2000 right in here. and it's falling 2000, 2001, and you didn't get that until
Oh wow.
really much later in 2001, and then the extreme reading didn't come till 2002, and then
Oh God.
really,
That means 2023.
yeah, I think the way it points is that 2023 is going to be more of a dud. Okay, new lows all across the board, folks.
Right?
New lows. Let me pull up that
So
393. I
fantastic.
again 3600, folks. I'm not saying today, but next week. There's the 4-hour chart. You're taking out your
Yeah, look at
lows.
Apple, man. Ooh.
I say you go to new lows for the month and the week and the day and the year. Now, where that 3 bar is now out. So that's 38. What, let me see here. Yeah,
Yeah, that's
3803.
an S&P futures lowest price is November 10th right now.
And I come back to Tesla as your crash stock.
Bro, only 4% more till circuit breaker. That'd be nice.
I mean,
So
Tesla.
I don't even know if they'll even let there be circuit breakers anymore. What they're doing with the VIX, I don't know, man.
Hold on, let me bring that back up.
Yeah, it's like everything's just getting destroyed. I don't know. The defensives are not down as much, right? Of course. But someone was talking to me about it last night. Like, what about just owning the blue chips in the bear market? It's like, well, look, I mean,
No.
we know about history is yes, of course, like the trash gets taken out and it loses 90 to 99% of its value. But guess what? The defensives still end up losing like 65 to 78% of their value. So you're not like, you can own them. I mean, like if you just want to sit in them, and if you've been sitting in blue chips, you've been getting wrecked all year, right? I mean, it's just, but yeah, sometimes to me, this is like why I got into this stuff at such a younger age, because it's like I want to be able to like control my money and not like let just a bear market, a secular bear market happen, and I just lose everything, and I'm paying an expense ratio to a fund, right? I'm just because just like when a trend establishes itself, like look what's happened. It was like established, in my opinion, like the S&P established the downtrend in late March, early April on that second lower high from the all-time high. That was when I like that's what talked to like everyone again watching the street. It's like liquidated. Like just I'm done. I'm like I'm not. There's no point when this thing starts rolling over and falling below the September 2021 high on the S&P 500. It's done. It's over. This is bear market confirmed. And from there, from that second peak, just using traditional technical analysis to establish an argument for why trends are reversing. I mean, it's still down like 18%, but that's an index fund. So, under the hood, it's way worse with these individual stocks. So, uh, anyway, I'm
Yeah,
just,
this kind of a thing is there's something brewing. I really, this is kind of like a liquidation cycle, and it's not doesn't happen too frequently, but this is the kind of event where people are forced to sell. Company fundamentals, earnings don't even matter because so many
yeah,
people are over levered that they're holding on to stuff that they have to sell to cover, and it's like a
true.
cascade of debt calls.
Yep, and it's like what the tide's going out. So the more stress that gets put on the system equals the tide going out further. Therefore, we're going to see more people swimming naked. The lower the prices get, right? And the higher the VIX spikes.
Yeah, and again, as you get into the year end, people are kind of waiting and waiting, trying to hope that they can get a better price. And I think what you're seeing is people capitulate, saying no. They're all going to run for the door. That's yesterday was a 1 day thing. To go right back down today and get smacked in the face like this. So
Sign of weakness.
yeah, and that's the whole character of what's been going on for the better part of, I would say, since March, April. Sure, it started in January, fresh off the bat, but it leaks into the new year for sure. Um, for multiple reasons. I mean, people that were waiting to do something are going to make moves. And I mean, day one, make big moves. The one thing I wanted to look at, where are rates? Because what's driving this today? I haven't looked at news or anything, but um,
Yeah.
I don't see,
I don't think it's news driven. It's certainly just technical,
yeah, I don't,
I think.
the whole deal on interest rates, where we are on the 10-year, which looks like this big pattern at the hop level. There you go.
I'm waiting on this delay on my side.
I'll get back here.
Oh yeah, attempting a rally, looks like.
Hey, Mitch, hold on.
Yeah,
Take over
not
for
really.
1 second. I gotta answer this 1 second. Take over for 1 second.
Yeah, sure. Oh man. No pressure. All right. Hello everybody. Welcome to the stream. If you're enjoying it, hit that like button, that bell, that sub. If you don't, you're a moon boy that was long today for no reason at all. Like you just said, there's no excuse, man. No excuse for being long on this market. Like, what are you doing? It was like a train going at 5 miles an hour coming at you with the rising wedge on the S&P 500, with the failed attempt of breaking the mother of all supply lines that goes all the way back to January of this year. They tested once, failed. Twice, failed. 200-day moving average rejected, not one time, but two times. Horizontal line support resistance 4,065 on the S&P 500, rejected twice. Rising wedge even got a formal bearish back test of the old demand line as the supply line on that second high. I mean, that right there told you, like screamed at you, hey man, we very well, high probability crash, right? Because what? We're in a bear trend, a rising wedge, bearish continuation pattern in a bear trend is, based on all the research done by Bukowski, is extremely reliable pattern. Okay, well, guess what? The pattern's being reliable. Since we're in a bear trend, what? We're getting outperformance in price action on that rising wedge. And S&P 500 futures, I'm just looking at right now, nearing its session lows. Bearish and golden candle will be confirmed today unless a miracle happens, which, they happen, man. But that's you got to be really high on opium. You're working on the lowest daily candle close since November 9th. And there's just really no support until 3,640. So yeah, it might take a few days to get there, but that's pretty much the target here. History tells us, like on the S&P, it's straight down. When you break 4,000, you go straight to 3,600, straight up to 4,000 or higher, and then straight down to 3,600, straight up to 4,000, and now you're working on going straight down after making lower highs than the previous highs from August. So it really is, I think. This is why you learn this stuff. Like, if you really invest in yourself and if you stick along with our streams, you see it's real. Like, you can identify like what market participants are doing. That's all traditional technical analysis is. It's like we're actually reading the psychology of buyers and sellers here, right? And what we know is less market participants have been involved with this market every single high, every single time the market rallies, less of them, and that's distribution. So,
Yeah, and we're
and
doing,
rant.
and a lot of, I appreciate that. I had to take that call, but a lot of signs where what happened, the rally from October, November's fluff, total fluff. Taiwan Semi had a quick 6 week
God,
rally rollover. Your hop level, your 75 hop levels off of all the patterns go back 68, and they're getting to be a
oh
lot like
man, so
crypto.
nasty.
A lot of these long-term charts are getting to be like crypto, where it's longer, lower and longer, with retesting of numbers that are that are lower, and beyond that, it's you're sitting there trying to just get through it, but it does not abate, does not give up, that's the problem with the current situation. A lot of the downtrend, a lot of the rejections of uh, just from October. It's it was nothing, no continuation. That's why the Nike chart is probably one of the better possibilities of something that didn't really get too hit today yet. I'd keep an eye on it. Nice little a low bat off the low, easily come back, retest the low.
Yeah, I think this is like um, people are going to think, hey man, it's only it's up 0.36% on such a bad day. All right, man, maybe we should just get in this. It's like I don't know, man. Like it gapped up, and there are three types of gaps: breakaways, everyday gaps, and then exhaustive gaps. And it does not have the characteristics of a breakaway gap.
It kind of reminds me of stuff
So
like these little patterns PayPal put in and Target put in, where you had some pattern up here off the low and then right back down, and that's Target was same deal after getting demolished. Uh, Another shark pattern right up here, 175, and right back down. So it's a lot of them that have done that little consolidation pattern after the big drop from the first half of this year. Those are almost as dangerous, I think, as the initial patterns themselves. So there was one other one.
Target was beautiful. A huge bear flag on. You talk about a breakaway gap. Look no further than Target, bro. Like from May when it crashed, that's a breakaway gap. That's like extremely high volume and a huge move in price, right? That's where that gap's not filling anytime soon. And all that happened since that breakaway gap, and you could just put a big red like line there, which would indicate like a red candle, bear flag, massive bear flag, and you broke the bear flag bearishly. I've been keeping it, patrons updated on it. December 14th, and I'll show you what I've got here. And man, that lower high, but even before earnings and the breakdown, that breakaway gap, that lower high, man, showed you. It was like screaming. Here, I'll just post it to you in the DM. It's a work of art, man. It's like, come
Let's
on.
say,
How could like how could you not like how could one not see this beautiful bearish consolidation? And
yeah.
now you're breaking and you're about to break your horizontal line support from June.
Here's Mitch's target.
And yeah, 130, and then after 130, you're looking at $90.
Yeah, we take
There's
away all the
moves probably
patterns.
around there
Take
too.
Look, you take away all the patterns, you take away all the lines, and just simplify it even to the price action. You can see that this stuff is uh, breaking down in a way where uh, the obvious static support resistance comes into play. Look, there's your first level of support. That's on a weekly time frame, congestion, little window, and then down again, next level where you got to go back under. You're under $90, under 100 for sure on this next
God,
level.
weekly is so brutal.
Yeah,
Those two highs visible on the weekly, just confirming. Yep, way less people involved in this asset than before.
yeah.
Uh,
Now market's popping. Let's see what Tesla's doing that here in a 5 minute. 125. What's there?
oh yeah, off the
Oh,
lows.
interesting. A little HSI uh, for my folks. The way I'd look at this, your first bullish HSI that barely worked, but this is a 5 minute for Tesla. You look at it like that, where that's the first point, starting point, check back point, but you would still need a bullish candle, two bullish candles, 1, 2. All right, so far so good, but I would be looking for a little 5 minute and then down again. You play this, obviously play those HSIs in the direction of the trend. There you go. There's a 5 minute right there, about to trigger probably in the next couple of bars. Do take a look at you're amplified. That's pretty overbought at the moment, but we're 2 or 3 bars away. I've been every session, I've been trying to flash some 5-minute opportunities. Here's Nvidia. Oh, yeah, Nvidia is that's got a 5-minute right around 150 at a very low level, which is not a good sign. So maybe if Nvidia is going, if this is really going to continue, Nvidia rolls over now. What about the SPY or QQQs? Look like this. 5-minute SPY probably going to generate, just like the other ones, a overbought here. We just entered into the next 5-minute bar. Okay, so 4 minutes to go. I would look for that by the top of the hour. Maybe come up and then new lows for the day. Why not?
Power hour. Yeah, you got to wonder, like today, such big selling. Are we going to see a bunch of shorts covering into the close, the day traders, or not? Or if we'll accelerate? Oh, man.
Oh, you know what? Someone just put in the chat. They anticipate a bounce when the omnibus bill is signed into law. It's probably, this nonsense is probably related to that. It's probably, let's just throw
Oh,
1.7 trillion into the fire.
dude, these people do not represent our interests anymore. They are robbing the coffers. They're destroying what has been built, Western society. They're destroying it right now. I mean, why not? Because if you destroy it, then they can come in and implement what they want. And no one's stopping them. Like, it's so weird now. It's like you have Republicans and Democrats that now you have a few that are vocally trying or opposing it with logic and reason and math, right? But like, I don't know who all these other people are. Like that, you know, they do not represent what their constituents want. I could guarantee, like that Twitter poll that Elon did yesterday, there were 3 million people voting on it. Like 75+% of people were like, of course not. Of course we don't want you to print 1.7 trillion dollars, right? Because you keep doing that and it keeps making things worse. Things have only gotten worse with money printing, with these bills you're creating. It's not doing anything. It's not making society better. And a lot of it's going to other countries. It just doesn't make sense, man. But now it's just ridiculous because this like pigeon foots us people that are in the financial world, and it like forces us to talk about politics. Like, how do you not talk about politics when they're getting like printing 1.7 trillion dollars is political, but it's economic and it affects our markets. So it's like, how do you like not talk about it, right? I mean, it's ridiculous. It's obscene.
I agree. I think it's, you have to shift. We're, absolutely all have needed to shift our, the speculative to the long side to now speculation, the extreme to the sell side, in just the last 12, 18 months. I mean, go from one of the most frenetic time periods that was created by those same people to now they're going to shut it down and dish out some bugs for everybody. But I just think you have to shift the trading perspective, go to more short term stuff. Don't be afraid to get on the sell side and stay with that for a while until the turnaround's almost obvious. I think it's like you're so deep now that you want to stay on the sides until until this is, oh, 3 months into an obvious turnaround and it or more where it bottoms out, you get all of the standard historic measures, and then you turn around and you're still, you'd rather be late to the game than trying to catch any of these knives that continue
Yeah,
to
dude.
drop. I mean, here's Square is another one that's doing, you know, massive 280 all the way down to 50. Then it's got a bullish pattern, but we're even clearly back on the full return to $50. And this is one of 100 where they're all doing this return phase. Even if it was an opportunity, it wouldn't be an opportunity from the way we look at it until it goes back and retests the lows from this year. Today looks a lot more obvious than it did maybe 5 days ago, 10 days ago, but That's you're there in with the patterns, you're there with the other indicators, and now you're finally realizing the acceleration that is usually the last part, that it just takes time to kind of come around, be realized, and then it's like, okay, yeah, finally it's made its move. Apple being that one that we're targeting the hop down at 127 and change
Mm-hmm.
right now is, there's a bat pattern. It's a type 2 with the 886 da da da. We've been looking at that since 150, 145, and now it finally is realized. You need to see 2 firm days on Apple tomorrow, next week, or this hop's 122. I think some of the other ones were, 127, maybe 122. But I'm not worried. I'm not so worried about that in terms of this not being unexpected. It's the what if under the hop level, like the failure on Apple under 122 or under 120. You then say to yourself, something larger is happening that even Apple is not going to be able to stop, and then you drag it out. I actually talked about this, I think, on Monday, that even Apple's logical COVID low, 886 low, is the only thing underneath here at $65-$70. You're 130 now on Apple, so it's a pretty ugly what if scenario. It's either a little more damage, or that damage just leads to a continuation down to the big targets for 2023. That's again a lot of the patterns flashing those kind of objectives before they can even be considered. Here's another one I've talked about where Airbnb all-time new lows since the IPO, and we've been looking for this to go to the hop level at $80 since really the 110 after that rollover 95.
Good
and
God.
and look, no confirmation yet, not close. And there's the all-time chart for Airbnb. You're at all-time IPO lows. There's the IPO. Amazingly, okay, Airbnb IPO weekly chart. Let's connect dots. First person to name this pattern will win a volume 3 book. Mitch, you can't play.
Dang it.
All right, where are we
You know what's
going?
crazy about Airbnbs? Like while people are answering, Airbnb, like those peaks of that harmonic, look left and see what they did. I mean, that they were formally bearishly back testing the December 2020 all-time low as resistance. I think that's so wonderful. And you failed and failed, and then you failed again like October 19th, and then you started accelerating now. But that is like the truest TA, man. I mean, that's like what was once support became resistance, and like it flipped resistance. So that was like such a strategic area to maybe go short or to buy puts there, and it's printing. It's taking time, but it is really going now. All time lows.
Yeah, Tony Torres, you win with Deep Crab, which the all-time price action for Airbnb. We get into the cycle stuff for all of these stocks, these concept stocks, and a lot of them, even the Facebooks, you go back 10 or 15 years, they're going to have charts where you're going to be able to connect dots with their IPOs that form patterns like this. And that is the way we would look at it. So Tony, you win. Connect with Miss Stephanie on the Discord. I don't care if you want to book volume 3 or the gold membership with the software. Your
Let's
choice.
go, Tony, man.
All
Love
right,
the chat with
Tony.
Tony.
But 1618 on Airbnb, 16 is at 58, and then if it does a 1902, which is possible, $30 in a
Jeez.
in a capitulation, and this stuff is possible. I know it's it's tough to see it before, but you lay over the patterns. And here's another one, Uber, that is dropped down into the bat with minimum hop level at 18.
Uber. They don't make money. I mean, like these things don't make money,
No.
right? This is Yeah, every time it doesn't, like every quarter. Oh yeah, dude. Holy crap. I'm looking at Uber and look the level, look at that swing low from November of 2019 is being breached. It was actually breached on the 19th, and then wow, yesterday, as of yesterday. Oh my God, this is perfect.
Yep.
This is chartgasms. You mean you formally bearishly back tested the the November of 2019 low, became resistance yesterday, and now you're rolling over, and there's just nothing here, man. There's nothing here. I mean, you go down to $20 maybe to test that July low, and that could be like a type 2 or something, right? Of the big old
Yeah, it's
back
an
pattern you've got.
yeah, it's ugly retest of that alternate bat. Notice how there's no green arrow popping up in here to even trigger anything. You get a counter signal. I'm really starting to think that there is a trade strategy I want to create and kind of standardize with the software that you see this, you can play it back in for the retest in the zone. Once the check back occurs and you get that clear rollover, you are looking from that wherever that occurs back down to XA, because that's normally what that means. It already happened once, going down again. I think 1888 on Uber. These are still lower, and you just drift down there. Here we're speaking about drifting down. S&P's rolling over. I want to go to that because I think we generated some 5-minute stuff real quick. Hey, you know what? Merry Christmas. Santa is going to come and I think not be too nice. Going to leave a lot of coal this weekend because markets are going to be super thin. And if there was ever a time to push stuff down, it would be pretty much now.
Well, remember, like, there's no way Santa is going to be able to give anyone coal because, the EU and NATO, they have banned Santa Claus from giving coal out because of Germany, 13% increase in coal consumption this year from last year. Oh, but what about my green energy? How about stupidity? So, yeah, man.
All right, Nvidia's got a 5-minute. I mean, look, the last two HSI signals, 1 5-minute. There's the check back, folks. Okay, where's the next two? 1 2 after that, but around 149.80, and then there's a secondary one. So if we're going to get that kind of failure continuation where this just keeps going, it's like that. There's probably some better ones a little further along. Let me go over to, well, heck, let's go to Netflix and Nike. Netflix crushed on the day. Nothing really there. It's an ugly type 2, but Nike, there's a bullish 5-0. Bullish 5-minute signal with HSI still up. I think Nike needs a couple days because of this bullish. We have a bullish harmonic like signal or strength signal that says I would look at that more at the hop level. But I'm looking for today. Like, we're hovering at minus 110 on the S&P. NASDAQ is still down 4.25, 425 points. Stuff like Microsoft, though, those are the ones that still have a ways to go on the longer term chart. And down here, 235. Yeah, this is one of the ones that still probably, another 7, 8, 10% to get to the minimum ABCD at 219, now 235. Let's see, get a 5-minute HSI maybe later today. Now 2 o'clock, folks, right at the top of the hour. About to jump into that next bar. This is not, it's just not constructive in any way, I think, is the clear takeaway on all of it, where it's continuation and, you're doing it probably at a time where I think a lot of people thought there would be some kind of relief rally, and it's complete shutdown. I want to show the XLE and some of the energy stocks because they have progressed. This is XLE on, let's go to the monthly.
Down a lot, right? 4+% today.
Yeah, XLE, look, the HSI check back. We had a few things here at 93 bucks. Since then, been right at that arrow, right on the weekly, has been devastating. The daily and weekly time frame. Here's your weekly for XLE. This is a crab pattern. And since we had that crab pattern with this rollover, you break under the low, under 82, under 81. Another one, you shoot the gap to 67 and finally hit target one. And I don't know. People are constructive on crude oil, but we have all of these big patterns that are flat, real clear. I mean, ExxonMobil, yeah, deep crab here, and another ABCD, but all of that hop level was 116. This monthly chart for ExxonMobil, no, I think it was on Chevron. It was daily. All of that was around 115. And you still have to come down, I think, on stuff like ExxonMobil down to like 100 or 95. Yeah, oh, there's a good one. Mitch has got GM. He just fired me over. Yeah, I'll bring that in a second.
But then, yeah, I'm showing you scaled out too,
Yeah.
like the old 2013 peak, like that was back tested formally there. So it's absolutely incredible.
Mitch he just fired me some car charts. So here's his GM. And that's, probably goes back, retest the static lows. For GM, we have some patterns. Deep crab, but all of that's around 30 bucks. You're 33. And here's your monthly. Because this is another one where a reissued stock, and you don't hold 30. You don't hold these lows here. You just do another 886 cycle. And I think a lot of people, once they start to see that in the long-term charts, where this COVID thing is, the COVID cycle is just a big 886 correction. And no matter where you go, there you go. How it traces out, some are a lot further along than others. GM, 19 bucks. 19 bucks. Are the patterns that are kicked out, even in the short term, say, come back and retest 30.
And I don't think it really matters that much because it's just like a collective market-wide sell-off. But like GM, like 2 days ago, news broke, and I don't know why it's not bigger news, but like 140,000 of their electric vehicles have been recalled. So I mean that's nice news-driven catalyst stuff. Nice, like cherry on top to the technicals, right? Some fundamental catastrophe, for GM. So yeah, I think like $26-$25. I mean. And think about the wave structure that's being possibly presented right now, where you have X, a GM's July 7th is X, right? XA is the top, and then B is that deep retrace in October, and the lower high on C. Yeah. What is that? I mean, that's deep crab written all over it, right?
Yeah.
That is disgusting, man. What's the pattern completion zone of that potential deep crab if it,
It gets you to those lower numbers, those teens. Mitch is saying, what if this larger breakdown ends like this in a 1618, which I think is great rationale, because if this is going to flush, it's not going to be a 113. It's going to be a 1618. You're going, and especially with the new year, makes sense. You're in a new interval. And you take out the lows, you stop screwing around with a lot of these that haven't done much. They've done nominal bounces off the October and June lows, but this is not trend changing in any way. And another pattern lower, you break this out, gets you to those low teens. I say when you violate daily levels like we're doing, you've done a little reaction, you're come back down, but you're more than 30 bars, you're 100 bars, and you're still sideways, little progress, you get more suspect. And this weekly thing or monthly, you kick out and say, all right, what is the last 5 years cycle possibilities here if this really falls apart? And it's just they're all going back to these 2-3 year cycles of a full reset. You got to pay for it. 886, 886 across the board. And it's
Yeah,
it really is. Here's XLF. You were mentioning financials.
because I think they were getting ready, man, to like just get destroyed. Fair market rally, whatever, and just they were kind of like squeezing, but then they failed to break a key level. And I mean, three times I think it's failed now to break it. Now it's rolling over, and I think it's a done. That.
Here's the weekly. Now, interesting thing is that
Whew.
we had a nice pattern, a bat pattern, but like a lot of the bullish patterns that materialized off the October lows, the reaction is done, and we have to come back down for the retest. And if you were going to stick by the framework and you know that the best opportunities are on the retest, it's under the XA. It's 27 to 30 level to retest for financials. So we do have some big patterns in like Goldman Sachs. Look at this Gartley and Goldman Sachs. It's beautiful, beautiful Gartley already at target one.
Yeah, my issue is like those two peaks, right? It's a confirmation high. Those two lower highs in the previous high. So it's like that's what I was talking about. Like just the failures there. Clearly, way less people involved, and it's just confirmed now. Yeah, that now is the thing where it's like wow, that's a nice generated harmonic right there. So I'm like a little behind.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a lot to do with the strength of this ABCD, off the low there. If you get a Gartley, it's kind of in between, but all the ratios, your B point lines up with the 618 there, your ABCD structure super strong, and it's a tight one with a 127. That and confirmation gave you for the reaction. I would say maybe as low as 320, but you have some strong structure there behind it. And the other one, JP Morgan, too, is not as nice, but counter trend, shark pattern, but you have this whole return thing going on. Like if it hasn't retested the zone, it's going to have to get back there, and you're 128 and change. You have to come back to this 114 level just to retest and kind of consolidate, stabilize before you can do anything else.
Yeah. Wells Fargo, I just sent you that chart. I mean, that's a beautiful rising wedge bearish continuation that you broke out a few days ago, and now you're catching some really nice fall through.
Nice. Yeah, Wells Fargo's been pull up that Gartley in a second here. That's Mitch's chart. And that's another clear breakdown, big one where you're minimum hit the low, but do a 1-for-1 off of that from 48 to 42 and then 6 down to 36. Wells Fargo had a couple of patterns at 46, 48 on the daily. There you go. Yeah. ABCD, and it's a ugly but extended bat pattern. All of this is, here's the first test right there, type 1 on the bat. This is actually the type 2 area for that bat, and you're already past target 2. And you do have a butterfly, but that's all the way at around 36. And that's
Man, it's
probably,
so insane how like these are just like if you're talking about the COVID crash low to like the all time or not the all time, but the highest high of the rally. I mean, these things are so elevated. Like I think it pretty much reacted in June around the 618, and that's what the rally. But now that's over, right? And 786s and 886s, $25 and $29. I mean, use your imagination on where
yeah.
this could go in 2023.
Yeah, there is your financial crisis high. You come back and hit that, you're underneath there, and you're coming back down for connect the dots, if you will. If this is the thing about the broader market rolling over on this next leg down, we've got a lot of things that are getting to a point, like I said, with Apple, similar deal, where you take out that 50 whatever point you start to have to come back, and you can draw bat and Gartley structures that say, all right, M formation, ABCD off the top, somewhere around 24, 25 bucks on Wells Fargo. That's how you get S&P a lot lower than it is today. If you see financials, do that. Wells Fargo, Classic,
Yeah, there it is, man. Yep,
Bank of
that's
America
it.
is the other one too, which is, they basically, Bank of America was just lucky that they salvaged that one.
Oh
Um,
man, that C point, that's like pretty much a textbook dead cat bounce, right? A 50% retrace before
mhm.
collapsing again. Yeah, nice. You don't get to see like they're not always there, right? But that's pretty perfect. Breaking news! Breaking news! Sam Bankman-Fried he's out on bail, $250 million bail by his
Wait,
parents.
he's out on bail?
Yeah, it broke about maybe 15 minutes ago. Yeah, released on $250 million bail secured by parents. Where did they get that money? That's
Yeah,
FTX money. That's the money that they stole. I can't even. How is that even possible,
that
man?
is,
That's crazy,
that's insane.
dude. Short your
Any one of
market
us in
to
here would
zero,
never
dude.
get out of jail. Any one of
Of
us in here
course
that
not.
did that, we would be lucky not to be in solitary confinement.
We'd have been in jail a month ago, by the way, too. So like we wouldn't be like sitting on Twitter Spaces talking about it's I just didn't know he was a genius. Then he was stupid. It's like it's crazy, man. But this just shows how corrupt the system's become. I mean, things have just gotten so bad.
It's rotten. And I, as somebody that had to wade through a lot of the nonsense at I try to do it straight up as a regulated investment advisor. And I hate to say it, I wasted time. It was almost like telling somebody that went to college to get a degree that they're wasting their time. I would never say that because I think everyone should pursue it on their own. But for me, that whole experience of trying to have it set up to try to build my own firm and all of that with all the regulatory stuff that came in was a little too naive on my part. And then when they changed it with all the stuff they'd already done online, because that was relatively new too, there was no way I could be compliant according to the rules. Yet you have situations like this where, this guy absconded with the hundreds of millions of dollars easily, if not billions, and he's out. He's out. He's going to go have pizza tonight, you know?
Yeah,
So,
with ill-gotten gains, with the money he stole and laundered through his parents, that money's getting him out. That money that he used to, virtually, I mean, he was the second largest donor to the Democratic Party, and he's like certainly in bed with Gary Gensler. Wasn't like Gary Gensler like his professor at MIT or something? Just very weird connections, and it just shows you.
yeah, look, I think with where you are in the cycle, this is like an Enron. This is like a Madoff thing where, okay, they're now arrested in the cycle and now they were arraigned, and then soon's going to come their court case, and then they're going to go to jail. And as you get to each point, you progress. By the time he's in jail, maybe the market starts turning around. I mean, literally, your fraud poster boys are going to have to get thrown in jail, and you have to get further along on this process before those signs can be. You say, all right, you've washed out the bad part of what's been going down here. I'm looking at. Let's go to a 5 minute here. All right, 5 minute Nvidia checking back. Need a couple of bearish 5 minute candles. One second. Let me look at Microsoft and Tesla. Let's look where Tesla is. One
It's up a little bit off the
one
lows,
126. Yeah.
like 2% off the lows.
All right. Perfect. Check back. Here we go. This is something that we've been doing, just a strategy with the HSI where we look for the check back and then look for two bearish candles, agreement candles. You have the bars there. If I was looking for a turnaround intraday, I'm looking for overbought areas, but I want to see it develop as well. So the first step is you retest that extreme and then give me 1 and 2 bearish candles. So this would be early. Maybe Tesla in the next 10 minutes might set something up where, what are we going to do the rest of the day? S&P is, here's S&P. S&P on the day, folks, the real make break is going to be, can you close under the 2-day low and have a new low for the week, the month? That's under 37. Oh, no, that's not 37. That's under 3803. 3803 or 3800 is probably even better. Where this would be a big 3-bar continuation. Not there yet, but keep an eye on it. That's the number for ES. NASDAQ futures actually a little more difficult because we're so close to violating on the composite, the big swing lows, that you're essentially looking back for the month, close under November, 10-6, 10-6-30. You're not close to it yet, but I wouldn't be surprised to see this go back and retest at the low of the year. Just grind lower than 10-5, 10-4 for right now. The 5-minute, anything that would set that up.
Those Vegas meetup prices.
Yeah.
I think that's when we were there. Yeah, like when everything was at its lows.
All right, this little bounce, quote unquote, from the last 30 minutes is just done, about 60, 70 points. It's going to probably trigger in the next 10 minutes. So need a little bit of time. We're 2:15 now. Everybody, let's really quick. First person to type in V3 will give away a book. Also, give me a second to let everybody know. Go to Harmonic Trader, folks. Become a basic member. And everything you want to do, start with, is on the basic members page. And get with the software. The gold memberships I'm giving away, folks, they come with the Trading View and the MetaTrader eSignal, your choice, HPC Pro. So you get 2 subscriptions. So I've given away a couple of gold ones here. I'll give away one more gold membership at the end. Edward 28, you win the V3. So that's where to get with it. And then the Discord link is at number 4. Check out all of that information. You have any questions, go to the mods on the Discord. They're there. And then with Mitch, check out Mitch Ray over. I know some of you aren't, a few, maybe not many, probably have more Mitch people here than my people, but Mitch Ray TA. See, I don't even have to type more than Mitch and it comes up right there on YouTube nightly. Check with Mitch.
Yeah, man.
Do we
respect the TA?
Do we respect the TA and respect the man? Do we give it a, let's give the Bitcoin or the crypto a 5, my top 5 rundown really quick.
We've neglected the Beanie Babies.
Number 1,
the virtual Beanie Babies.
Virtual Beanie Baby, number 1. Ethereum, it's just a matter of time. Just a matter of time on all of these. There you go. Gartley. We have a Gartley. That's what we're going with. Nothing until, I would say, we go to the hop level. And the next probably 2 or 3 days, you take out the 3-day low under 1150. Probably this weekend, 958 first stop. But we know the deal. It's an 8.8, all-time 8.86. That's what I'm going with.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of those where you look at it and it's like, is it going to be a dud? I mean, the price action you've been seeing around the 786, it's really like an 85% retrace, right? It never quite formally hit that 886. And that's why I'm thinking like it probably will, like 1,020 or something. But like this range we've been at, it's just not doing the stuff you want to see an asset do before, that type 2 return when it actually goes, right?
Yeah, it's the problem is was very little response. You've also, off of this low, if that was going to be anything, your clock is ticking. Your 30 bar movement is in 5 weeks. I've talked about this where January, it was either going to be something that develops like October, September, October, or probably January with the 30 bar 30-week limit. And that's mid-January, third week of January, where it's already losing its mojo from the June little bounce. And I you go to the weekly. Here you go. You're gonna need a big pattern like you had in 2018, and those are at relative 886s. That um, why would any of these cryptos stop here and go higher without any kind of pattern or any kind of real development? I just don't see it. It's a simple situation where it's all, even in the worst declines, they take time. So number two, Binance Coin. I don't.
Wait, Scott,
Yeah.
I can give you a relevant reason right now.
Why?
A scammer of his own native coin gets bailed out of jail for $250 million. Go look at FTT right now. Unbelievable, dude.
Really?
Unbelievable. 24% up, I think,
Oh wait, here we go.
on the news. Yep, up 30% now on the news. Over $1.
FTT USD.
Yeah,
Huh,
just
what a
on
what
KuCoin or
a
whatever. Joke, dude.
where is that
Yeah.
even? You can even buy that.
KuCoin, you know.
84 cents. Yeah, I wouldn't touch it though. How many this is crypto every day. It's a
Yep.
one bar straight up shot, and then it's a straight back reversal. You can't trade this when you have this kind of thing and it happens. It's it trading it is it's not trading it. It's you're looking to capture one rush move, and then that's it, and it goes back down, because that's what the people that are pushing it are doing. That's their plan, is a quick 100% move and sell it. So it's, yeah, that's what about, like, let me finish my top 10. So Binance Coin, there you go. 242, but it's all about the bat pattern, and 228, and that doesn't change. Nothing changes on that. Interesting that you do have an HSI signal, folks, where it's trying to stabilize, but still needs to give you your second candle. So there's the check back bar, one green candle. You need a second candle, and if it violates and goes down from here, it tells you that's going to come in a delayed fashion. I still say it's got to go back to 228 in your best of cases. Your worst of cases is that you continue to sell it down and go back to the lows minimum 185 of for last year, which is really nothing. 205. And again,
And the,
sorry, I just think that they're all going to be 886 candidates sooner or later. What do you think?
certainly. Oh yeah, I mean, like, so the big loser today is like Zcash. That, my God, you can't make up how like perfect the respect has been on some of these, on their just formal bearish back tests, like their bearish consolidation structures, and then they break those. But then, like, so I just sent you the Zcash chart. Like, there's just this supply line, and then Zcash crashed and ran straight to its next support, and then rallied for the good part of like a week. And that rally, where did it end? It didn't end randomly. It actually ended at that plotted supply line, and then broke the local bearish consolidation structure, and you even got a perfect bearish back test. And that bearish back test virtually hit the supply line for the second time. And now you're rolling over. And it's just like targets 34.39. I just think that's just so pretty. DMG, like the chart, but that's like the worst one on my watch list today, down 6.3%, falling near its session lows.
Terrible. Let's go. Number three was Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is a nothing dud. Talk to me at 11,000, if not maybe 8. And again, I just will spend 30 seconds to say, like a lot of the charts and a lot of the patterns, we're trying to figure out where the stuff's going to go. Where is it going to go? I mean, if it's tech stocks, broader market, commodities, crypto, we need to look at the big patterns and essentially line up, go shoot for those hop levels. This big crab pattern hop level is 8,000. Big 886 level weekly on Bitcoin 11,000. It's 50% lower, 30 to
You're
50%
scaring
lower.
them, Scott.
No,
You're
it's
scaring them.
you got it. It's it. I know, but the Bitcoin maxis. I'm they got give them credit. Willing to put it out there on the line, but I don't. I think again, you're really going to feel it. Like I said this earlier this week. The the real bargain is crypto at pennies on the dollar,
Yeah.
meaning the 95, 99%, Bitcoin 90% off its all-time high, Ethereum too. Number 4 was Doge, and 7.5 cents is a big long-term number. Big ABCD at 715. We actually hit that. By definition, that ABCD, because that was the return play, was tested yesterday. We have some confirmation here. We could have a second bullish candle, so I got to call it as I see it. I still think it'll take time, but maybe Doge, maybe, and I don't. What happens now? Now that Elon's no longer Twitter CEO, what's the likelihood of Doge doing what they thought it would do for Twitter? Nada.
Yeah, like I mean, it was a pretty decent argument, and then that failed attempt in the lower high gets put in. It's like, okay, well, maybe a back test to 9.1 cents, and then it didn't do that. It like broke that support, and it's like, okay, we're done with this. Like, I mean, I get it. Like right here is exactly where it could reverse again. All right, let's see, but it's just right. The macro is so bad for just trying. I mean, like, yeah, dude, of course we can identify the ones that look better than almost all of them, right? But even still, the ones that look better than almost all of them, they're still not like that great because you want to be, when you're looking for bullish reversals, you want the market conditions to not be so bad. You want a better macro environment, just the macro is like the incubator for bullish reversals on individual assets. And this is not good environment. So,
No, you're
but
you're
yeah,
almost in flush phase, and you're at the flush phase. Flush phase for the markets, flush phase for crypto would at this point again it save you months of a drag, which this has been the malaise year, and you want this to end, and so you got to kind of like really you need to kill it, need to wash it out. For Doge, that could be 6.5 cents somewhere down there. There's some big numbers again, 7 cents, but let's wait till January. Number 5 was, well, it was actually 2. It was XRP and Solana. Solana is just not a big deal because of that was on death watch, but XRP came back to the 32-cent level. There's some weekly patterns down here. Check it out.
mm-hmm. Monthly too, really.
Yeah, monthly, weekly. Actually, let me go daily. Even there was. There you go. The most immediate was this bat pattern that we mentioned this in November. The quick rush up to 40 met right back down. XA levels at 34. You do have confirmation, but it's still early. 33. It's in that area. I wouldn't be even surprised to see that go to 27 in light of what's going on. But it is a type 2. You did flash a trigger on XRP, but it needs a couple days to check back, retest in here, and give you a couple of at least a bullish reversal. If it's a 3 bar or even a 1 bar, you don't have that. It's still series of lower highs, lower lows. Next week, go next week on that. There's nothing. That's 2 of 2, and that's where we're looking for that to come back. But it'll be at least a week of action to do anything out of that zone.
Yep, definitely another one of those where it's like, hey, man, I mean, identifiable patterns at deep value areas, even like massive, like not like from previous lows from way back the COVID crash. But it's again like, hey man, May 12th, XRP was 34.34 cents. At this current time, it is now December,
Yeah,
34.34 cents. It's
nothing.
like dead. It's like a dead asset. I mean, like, this is as dead as it really gets. I mean, yes, you had a couple pops, and that created the harmonic, I think, from September 6th X
It,
to November 10th D
yep.
point. But like, I just, man, who's going to buy it? Who's going to be the one to come in, like, and really accelerate this whole thing and make this be the bottom? What's going on, man?
I
You don't.
think,
What happens if you break 32 cents? You just go straight down to 25 cents.
yeah, XRP, I'm showing Stellar Lumens, XLM. They have to hit the harmonic and then they've got to go sideways, I think, for a while in an extended fashion, much like you went through in 2019 period. You had your big spike, I mean, insanely to $3. And then you finally got back to your 886 level, but you didn't do anything for a year. And it was, it was quite some time. You had a few healthy weeks before this thing even started to do any kind of turnaround. So that's that's where I feel crypto is currently. You're going to probably smack it going into January to try to take out those lows in a nominal fashion, and then spend a lot more time going sideways before it could even set up to think about going in. It's not there. It's 23 could be a dead year, much like 19 was for crypto. So a lot of people are trying to be contrarian on it. It's not set up in the right spot.
It's not. There's just the significant time scales. Like, you look at
Here's Cardano. That's
most of them on
probably
the
the
weekly, man.
yeah. Cardano is just the other one. Everyone talks so great, so highly about this project. It's this or that. That was 3 and went back to whatever, 30, 25, probably goes back to 10. And they're all, it's not even about, I think, the project or crypto in general. It's the cycle. And the cycle was crazy. And the cycle has gone back to completely correcting what it needs to correct. And it's a bell-shaped distribution curve that, you go back to essentially where you started. And with that kind of formation, you go back to 2020 prices without it being anything, because this whole valuation curve was fluff. And that's the way to
Money
think
printing.
about it. Yeah, money. Well, yeah, under the guise of that, but technologically, like as a business, what has this done? Like in terms of the price action, what has this really achieved other than being a big speculative 3, 4 year run that we've seen over and over again in NASDAQ, tech stocks? I mean, that could be a dot-com stock from 1998 to 2000, and then by
You
two,
wouldn't know the difference.
yeah,
Yeah, by looking at the chart.
and then it's out of business by year 5.
Yeah, the issue with like crypto is like they don't go out of business. They just die, right? Like no one trades them anymore. They just look like they look like now. And they just sit at that 886, 95% retrace for like a year. And then eventually Bitcoin cycle, like a happening happens, right? And then it starts going up. And then all of a sudden the money, the algos, they start going back into these scams. And then a reversal, a new cycle, it happens, right? It's just the way it works. But
Yeah, maybe that's
um,
more self-fulfilling than anything else, but framework-wise, you still need to go through a whole lot of 1-2 stuff in any of those crypto markets to set up. It did it every time before. You're not even at 1 on a lot of these. You're not even at point 0.1. You would need a substantial rally and then another dump over the course of like a year for that long-term chart to turn around. Um,
ugh,
yeah, here's
disgusting.
yeah, a couple more I'm going to wrap up, but here's Chiliz. Someone was asking for Chiliz. This is the textbook poster child for type 1, type 2, even in the most manipulated markets. And I've said this before, that the type 1 reaction up to target 1 got us as high as 23 cents with HSI 17.6. That was where we were talking down at 11, and regardless, it went to 28. But I was saying the whole time that was a reaction. And this is the thing with Chiliz and a lot of the other ones where you have the big patterns, you haven't done the retest, count on eventually clipping the retest. And so Chiliz just hit 11.3 2 days ago, no confirmation yet. And I would say this could go as low as 5.46. And that's the hop level. Until you can generate something in the zone. This was right before it, that kind of a high level. Before the retest, it's not in the right area. So Chiliz, this is yet another one where why wouldn't that go to 3 cents or 1 cent?
2 cents, yeah. Yeah, like where the peaks are, where there's actual support resistance, right? November 2019, February 2020, August 2020, and even January 2021. That's the area. That's the best area. I don't know why it wouldn't. I think it will. It just takes time, man.
Yeah.
It's just grinding lower. Retail's out of it. And it's just, I think it will. Once you break like 9.4 cents that's not even like the levy. I mean, I'm looking at the weekly on Chiliz, and yes, that's a manufactured support for the first time ever in June, right? June 18th. That was Black Saturday. That was when Bitcoin collapsed and then put in a bottom. And that's where Chiliz rallied. But you're going to come back down to this level, and it's probably just not going to hold. I mean, because looking left in March of 2021, it was nothing. There was never a time where looking at the weekly, it's just one green candle up. So I think it's built no form of support for itself. And yeah, 2.2 cents, maybe it takes, 3 months, but 5 months, but that's probably the long-term target.
That manufactured range only took 1 week to construct. This is amazing. It went from, and I was in that, and it went from 12 cents to $1 in a week, and then it took 2 years to distribute. So that kind of action is amazing because they were able to hold it up so long. But this is all manipulated. Like you're not even at the natural area of supply demand is the way I would look at it. Your supply demand level, your demand level is more like 2 cents.
It is. I mean, there's nowhere else on this chart where multiple market participants that can move these markets would have a consensus area to all have limit buys or would even think about buying right now, in my opinion, right?
Here's the SPY again. I want to go back and check the 5-minute where I think we got something. Yeah, we're about to register those HSIs where this could set us off for a little power hour dip. Check
22
back.
minutes still power hour.
Yeah. We need another 5-minute bearish candle, but maybe something up in this 377 area. The other ones like Tesla, they were all doing dead cat bounces this morning. Yeah, look, Tesla's went on too long. Tesla just triggered. Tesla checked back 1 and second right there, 125 and a quart. You're down a point. This should get you at least to retest the lows or the next HSI. I think Tesla, remember, it's on a straight shot, and I think it's by tomorrow you run for the hop level off of this pattern, the weekly, if not lower, 113.12. That would be pretty crazy, but yes. Microsoft, same deal. Microsoft's a little bit longer term where you're in a sharp return phase off the pattern. Looks like this. Come on back. Where'd it go? There it is. 235.81. Do we have anything on a 5-minute? All right, perfect. Here's another 5-minute. I would love to see a little pattern if there was like a Gartley or something, but even on this intraday dead cat bounce, I'm looking at it like this. The check back around 236. That arrow is related to this indicator, HSI, on a 5-minute, and I use the 5-minute on looking for intraday pivots, but I want to see that not only retest that area, but give me 1, 2, like a breakdown, 2 bearish candles, because then I know that my target is to go back, retest the low of the day. And the other thing, what about 30-second? a little micro. I usually prefer that with futures, but I'll look at, say, a 30-second for anything down there. Nope. Yeah, a little deep crab at the bottom. That's a nice example of a 30-second pattern. But I want to go with the trend typically and on the 5-minute basis. I don't have anything there. Come back to that. Still needs like another, probably go into this next 5-minute bar here. Couple more. I think it's, the last 7-8 days, December's been pretty nasty. Here's Meta on a 5-minute, little ABCD, but no bearish, nothing really I'd grab at. At least S&P's coming off now, only off 92, but that could easily be down again 100 today. And what about the Qs? This is probably the best one of all that I just pulled up. So QQQ's sitting after a nice little bounce after dropping all morning, now starting to stall out after that dead cat bounce. That's 264, 264.50. It looks like this. So we break down under this low and we get a bearish close. Folks, QQQs could drop into power hour. And I'd be setting that up for some puts there. 264. Let me take a quick look here. Playing for this thing to, there's nothing here.
260, right? Next level kind of.
Let me see.
Yeah, 260 for sure.
For example, the puts for the 264 puts are trading 62 cents right now. Now they have to drop in the next, you're talking this has to drop right now in the next hour, 20 minutes, but you're about to click that in about 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes. So look at some of these for, especially, I guess it still points to tech being the one that's going to want to roll over.
Yup. Tech and leisure. And just all those like unicorns, right? Things like Workhorse, Zoom Video. I don't know, man. Yeah, Uber, the Airbnbs, my God, that's the trash. It already got taken out, but look at it now, And car companies, I think, too. Just disgusting.
There's yeah, that's, I'm just showing some 5-minute, like looking, are we going to fade this pop of the last hour is the thought.
Dude, look at, we look at GME, but Ford Motors is about to, if it breaks 1120, which it's doing right now, kind of like, dude, it's going down so much more. And this is a classic, 886 coming, right? I mean, I have a potential, just like GME or GM, I have a potential deep crab on this one too, like a 689 pattern completion zone of it. And that lines up with, 886 from the COVID crash low. And these things, there are definitely ones out there, leisure cars, maybe not energy as much because it's been such a good performer, but dude, like in-phase energy was in such a perfect area for a reversal. And it's down 6.6% today. But yeah, I don't know. They're just performing so strongly that like next week, the stock, the index funds stop crashing for a minute, they just stall out and the energy is able to pivot and run again. Like that's kind of been what's been happening. And it's just been really tough to make good yields on shorting or buying puts on energy, even at these tops so far.
All right, here are the cues. We need to go into the about 1 more minute. Ideally, we get a close underneath 264 in the next 60 seconds. That should set it off right even before power hour. We are, give it about 50 seconds, 45 seconds. Basically trying to see a trend line violation off the low with not much underneath here. I mean, again, your daily situation on Qs.
You got bearish engulfing on Qs too.
Hop level at 2. You're all so close to the hop level at 256. You're retesting XA now, and a few things there on this butterfly. Okay, so you got patterns down here. It's just where's confirmation coming in, hitting, Amplified RSI though is expanding down. So this whole range, we can go as low as 256, and it's tomorrow into Monday. Let that wash out. Let's see. Let's bring up the 5-minute again.
Wow, the NASDAQ 100 futures broke supports. Wow, 10,939, 11K.
All right, that
That's
just went. It didn't give you the second candle. Didn't give it. Amazingly, that 5-minute just went green. So you're still not ready yet. Still not ready. That was amazing. Wait on that. We need one more red candle here on Qs. The SPY, I didn't think the SPY was as good. The SPY is, yeah, here you go. 377 and change or so. Keep an eye on that one. I think it has to check back, but it's, that's the idea here. The idea is, have this little pop roll over and then let it, sell down into the close. QQQ is, again, amazing how that happens, but you need that 5-minute. You need another 5-minute bar, so it's going to kind of stall. Let me go MNOPQ. Still have to do that after all these years. I would still want to see one secondary candle, because here was the thing. This is the gist of our sessions, among other things from last Saturday, is we're looking for a pattern. Here we're just looking for a 5-minute rollover breakdown. But you have the check back and you have one bearish. This was almost bearish but didn't close bearish. So you need one more. Not there yet. And here's today. I mean, it's incredible, that destruction. I don't have, someone said on an hour, you say QQQ is on an hourly time frame? Oh, that's why. So software is kicking out the QQQs, a grab pattern, but still hop levels 259. And hourly HSI trying to come out of the zone still would need to go, 13 more minutes. Let's see how that 5-minute didn't line up either.
So does power hour dump, or do shorts cover?
Yeah, maybe I'm going to try to bring it up a little bit, but you're still down 90 on S&P. NASDAQ is off 380 now. All right, maybe they're going to bring it in off that 400 level. Any patterns, though, that's the thing I would be, I don't like to jump in front of these 5-minute HSI signals that go with the trend. One thing with the VWAP that I was showing people lately, that if you're playing along with the VWAP, that's still trending lower. And I've been showing that a little bit. It just is a 5-minute directional thing. You're still under VWAP. So what about, let me go to Netflix. That was the other one. Oh, wait, before I do something, you mentioned leisure. This has been another short for us, Royal Caribbean. And if you take a look, it was around 58. There you go. It was a type 2 crab with an ABCD. We're going to get to that 47 level probably by tomorrow. We're triggering HSI now, but I would look at, that's not, that reaction is minimum 47, but because it's a type 2 off the crab, I would look as low as 42 on that.
Yeah, it's falling below a 2011 peak today, January 2011.
Yeah, and with that also, that's a nice pattern off the low that, hey, you go to the monthly. Look at this monthly. I mean, this is insane. That's a monthly. It's a perfect type 2 deep crab on Royal Caribbean. I mean, it's the swings here from the first test exactly on the monthly, target one at 64.10. Okay, and then back up. There's HSI around 126, and that was COVID sending it down to target 2. That's why we follow target 1, type 1, target 1, and then retest type 2, target 2. This second one with, again, target 2 around 41.69 still says lower. And
Definitely
yeah,
testing the 200-month simple moving average last month and rejecting it this month with a bearish engulfing candle. So disgusting. Like that's just so bad.
yep.
And once it breaks $47, man, that's kind of like, could you imagine this thing back at like $12? I mean, that's like kind of the bottom of the range, maybe
Yeah,
$11.
I think if you get a big candle, a lot of this is setting up where look at the long-term cycle. It's just another one begging for an 886. It really is a, if you connect the dots, it has all the kind of wherewithal and construction of a shark pattern. Your 886 all time, I mean that's insane, is around $10. And so you've heard that first here. But you go under the immediate levels. If something really breaks in January like it did last year, that's going to be you're going to take out a lot of levels that have nothing but air. Here's the other one. Disney, okay,
Oh yeah, dude,
at
so nasty.
end limit. And this is, you have a couple of signals here where you're trying to check back. That's a monthly HSI. You have some other static support around 90, but folks, that's going to fail. And this is then the start of, not the end of it, but the start of some kind of shark formation. Under these lows, you go back down,
So much lower to go.
swing 886, you get back down.
Wow.
Disney, just nothing but air on um, the long term, like decade. This is the problem I have with a lot of these stocks, is that if they're if you're not going to make any money, or you're going to be deep in debt and your interest rates are going to go sky high, or you're going to pledge to lose money in this environment, which they're doing with a lot of streaming stuff, the failure here then just triggers it to where you have to go back and retest historic, like 10-year support zones. That's the COVID low at 76, and there's nothing stopping that. So
Yeah, man. This is like, but that's a right angled ascending broadening formation, really, and you're like breaking it. Very bearish pattern, and that's how like all the semiconductors reversed. But man, if you're looking at this on a monthly and you see that, and you're now breaking that support, oh man, it's gonna be carnage for Disney. This is a disgusting bearish breakdown on the monthly happening right now.
yeah, there's the
I
deal.
think because you look left, I mean, like yeah, the COVID crash reacted at an already established level. It just fell below it because of volatility and stuff like that. But I'm just talking about the low from 2016, and that was the level, and then reacted in 2020, and now you're breaking it formally. I mean, you're working on the lowest monthly candle close on Disney since June of 2014. That's brutal.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it is amazing because what they've done. I mean, like the leadership of that company. I mean, of course, everything's getting wrecked, but it just makes me feel pretty good, like
A
what they're doing. They don't care about making money. It's all about the messaging, some that woke ideology messaging, and yeah,
whole bunch of these. Look, monthly chart. There's a bunch of these monthly charts in those sectors that have worked out. Disney was a type 2 all the way up there. And hold on one second. Is that rolled over yet? One second. I'm looking for S&P to roll over here. No, we still don't have. No, NASDAQ's checking back now. Not yet. Um, so that is a type 2, and clearly you violate under COVID lows, that 70, 75. Um, you just kind of break free. And this is reminding me, or at least I'm kind of thinking, maybe more of these kind of stocks, like the XLE stuff, that haven't moved as much but are in the same type of position long term, that they really could get going. You've got, it's not like these were devoid of patterns coming into this, and some of the ones that have held up. for the next year could be the ones that drop a lot more. The other one was ExxonMobil, which again, I think a lot of people, there's a lot of institutions that are short ExxonMobil, but I'm thinking let's go to these, and they're they're the defensive stocks now until they start losing big ground. Here's Caterpillar with beautiful crab pattern, type 2 with confirmation. So there's a lot of these that are still up there. I think the other ones, the only thing you're looking for on tech is to do some kind of capitulation, just breakdown now, and then we'll deal with what happens in January, because they break down now, they will flush them in January hard. So we'll see, my man. I'm going to wrap it up here, but I appreciate your time today, and I
Yeah,
appreciate
man. Thanks
everybody
for having
coming
me.
out. I'd like to give away one gold membership. So first person to type in gold will win a gold membership. Shout out everybody in the chat for Mitch showing up, and I'll be over on Mitch's tonight, probably a little more like 8 o'clock, 7:45. All right.
Christmas stream, yeah, or
Yeah.
Christmas podcast format where we're going to be, we'll be in the penthouse, man, with the fireplace and all that. And yeah, it'll be good times. Bring your eggnog.
Hey, Martin, you win gold, and I need to talk to you anyway because you were a subscriber, but now you get the next month free. We'll give away more
Boom.
next Thursday. Again, I'll have a promotion. The silver for gold. Okay, anybody that signs up, that's get both the software for free. So I'm going to do that for the New Year's stream as well. If you have any questions, reach out to Miss Stephanie on the Discord. And we'll be over with Mitch tonight with a beer in hand. For
Or
sure.
eggnog, whatever.
Eggnog, whatever. Maybe no whiskey. No whiskey tonight.
Oh, man, yeah. I played poker over at a friend's house last night. We just stayed over eating, drinking till like 4 a.m. So getting up this morning was tough. And yeah, so sorry about being late and stuff. But hey,
No
made it.
worries.
And yeah, I was maybe like conscious for 15 minutes when I started the stream. So I'm in my robe still and all that. But yeah, man, it's all good.
I'll let you get your day started, and we'll be back, folks. So come on back on Monday, 12 Eastern. Until then, have a great weekend, and Merry Christmas to everyone. Happy holidays, and it'll be fun. More fun to come. So come on back on Monday. Until then, again, thanks, Mitch. Everyone, you take care. Go
God
get 'em.
bless. Merry Christmas.
Amen. Take care, buddy. Thanks again, everybody. Everyone that won, please connect with Miss Stephanie on the Discord. And until then, we'll see you Monday, folks.